Hello friends, my name is Jess and my Etsy shop, my Instagram, my YouTube, they all go under the name of Knit Plan Jess. So for those who are brand new to my channel, because most likely you found this video from my Etsy shop, I am a planner, but because of being a planner and being in the planner community on Instagram, I have also really fallen in love with reading. And part of that has been keeping a reading journal in my happy planner. So today's video is to basically show you what printables that are available in my shop and how I put together my reading journal using those printables. So welcome you guys. If you are a returning viewer, if you've been following me for a while, welcome back. I really appreciate your support and I cannot wait to see how you create your own reading journal, and definitely tag me on Instagram, tag me on YouTube. I want to see these in use. So if you are brand new to the Happy Planner, the Happy Planner is a company that creates disc-bound notebooks. So for instance, you have individual covers that you can be able to change out on your reading journal, your planner, your notebook. You can be able to change it up. You can be able to change out discs. I have like so many different color discs that it is probably ridiculous at this point, but you can just make it your own. And that's one reason why I decided to use the Happy Planner for my reading journal, because if I want to change the planner cover, if I want to take out pages, the disc-bound system makes that possible. So there are a couple different sizes of the Happy Planner, and I will be offering my printables in 2 sizes. The first one is sized to be fit for the Classic Happy Planner. Classic Happy Planner has 9 discs, but then you can also be able to print them out to fit the Big Happy Planner. The Big Happy Planner is similar to a letter size, and it is 11 discs. So if you are sizing it to fit a Classic Happy Planner, you will have to cut them down, but I have made the pages in a way so it is very easy for you to actually cut down the pages, allow them to fit into the Happy Planner. And then all you have to do is just take a Happy Planner punch them, and put them into your planner. Now, if you don't use a Happy Planner or you want to punch these to fit a 3-ring binder, you can absolutely do that as well. You just want to make sure that you either use a letter size, so 8.5 by 11 ring binder, or if you are using one that is the same size as the Happy Planner, you can use that as well. One of the items that I strongly recommend that you start with for the Happy Planner if you are brand new is the Happy Planner Plans and Notes system. This system is basically set up to provide you with discs, a cover, it has dividers in it, but then it also has paper and a monthly calendar. The monthly calendar you will see in my reading journal why I like it. And you purchasing the Happy Planner Plans and Notes, this can be purchased from Amazon, will give you everything that you need for your reading journal without having to purchase anything additional, with the exception of like a paper cutter and a punch. So let's talk paper cutter. You don't need to go out and run out and buy one of these big guillotine trimmers. However, when I was cutting out my printables, I kind of realized that it is something that I highly recommend. If you have something smaller like this Fiskars, you can use this as well. This cuts the papers really nicely. I usually cut about 2 to 3 on the small one, but on the bigger guillotine trimmer, I'm able to get up to 10 pages. I purchased this from Amazon for 30 bucks, and I felt like for my printables, it was a very worthwhile investment. I will also have this linked down below as well. Finally, if you intend to go the route of the disc-bound system, you will need a punch. If you don't have one already, this can be purchased from Michael's, it can be purchased from Joanne, it can be purchased from the Happy Planner website. If there is an Amazon link, I will link that down below. But basically, this punches the pages so they have this little mushroom punch, because this will allow it to go into the disc-bound system and allow it to be removed easily. One thing I love about the discount system is that you can truly make it your own. You can be able to punch cards. I got this from a small business shop. I have myself a nameplate. You can truly be able to make your reading journal, your planner, your notebook, your own with the disc because it is so easy to take things in and out. So let's go ahead, jump into my reading journal, and I will show you how I have it set up. So again, I have this card and I have my nameplate in here just because I like to have those little extras. I took the cover. This is your name sheet from a planner, so I could be able to have that in here. And then I have dividers, and these ones come from the Happy Plans and Notes. So the first printable that I will be offering is a yearly reading challenge. My yearly reading goal is 100 books. I have turned into an avid reader, so unless I just stop reading mid-year, I know for a fact that I will definitely meet that goal. However, some people may not be as avid as reader as me, so I will be offering yearly reading challenge pages that allow you to go up to 50 books. And even for someone who's a more casual reader, I will have 25 books as well. I have both a numbered version and I have it set up to allow for an unnumbered. Sometimes I like to set myself a reasonable goal, and then if I exceed that goal, I can be able to number these up as I go for the rest of the year. Another printable that I will be offering is the wrap-up pages. The monthly wrap-up pages are designed to allow you to be able to write down how many books you read, how many pages you read, and then decide on your book of the month. You can be able to print out a book cover, do the star rating, and then put some little notes about it. For instance, I will be putting down the title of the book and the author. This section right here is designed to allow you to print out book covers of all of the books that you read during the year. I have a link down below for a video where I show people how you can be able to easily print out the book covers. And I'm actually going to go to my reading journal from 2023 to show you exactly what I mean. So this was an impromptu monthly wrap-up that I created, and this is actually kind of what turned into this, because I've decided that I wanted to include stats as well for the upcoming year. So as you see, I just have the covers printed out, and I use a Tombow dots adhesive to just easily tape them onto the page. And then that way, each month, I can be able to see all of the books that I read. But with the stats page, I can also be able to designate what book was my favorite, and I can be able to really keep some stats. So the way that these are designed is you will get all 12 months. You can either be able to print them out double-sided, or you can print them out single-sided. So next, I have my yearly review page. The yearly review page is designed to allow me to put how many physical books, how many Kindle books, and how many audiobooks that I have read each month, and then write in a total. I have two versions of this. One version is designed to allow for all three formats. Maybe we have some people who are not audiobook readers, so I have a version designed with the physical and the Kindle. You can be able to decide which one that you want to use. And it goes January through December. I also have a top book of 2024. What I have decided with this is I would be picking from the monthly wrap-up. My book of the month is going to go in each of these little spots. And then between January and February, I will decide which one I liked better. Between March and April, I will decide which one that I like better, and so on. And then I will basically pair it up between them to decide what was my favorite book of the first 6 months, what was my favorite book of the second 6 months, and then I will decide what was my favorite book of 2024. After that, I have my monthly calendar. The monthly calendar comes from the Happy Planner Plans and Notes. So this is basically what it is. The calendar itself is undated, but the Happy Planner Plans and Notes also includes sticker sheets that have all your dates and your months. It also has a lot of functional stickers. So if you decide that you want to purchase this for other reasons, you have other functional stickers. The only ones that I'm using is the month and the dates. Because I'm using for the monthly calendar, I have in here a color for when I start a book, if I read a book all in one day, which usually tends to be audiobooks or like a novella, and then when I finish a book. So I will write in when I started a book and when I finished a book. I also decided to input in these little cards, and this may be something that I will have in a future release, but I'm going to be tracking every single month how many books that I purchased, how many books that I sold, how many books that I donated to a little free library or to your local library, how many books did I decide to DNF or did not finish, and then I can be able to mark how many books that I finished on Kindle, how many that I finished on audio, and how many that I finished on physical. Just a good tracking system. The Happy Planner also has bookmarks and such. So I like to use the bookmarks to basically kind of designate that this is the month, so it's just really easy to get to. I do not have monthly calendar pages. That may be something for a future release, but it is not currently available in my shop. So if you want to use a monthly calendar, I highly recommend picking up the Happy Plans and Notes for an undated calendar, or you can purchase a planner and that will have the monthly calendar as well. After that, my next section has my books read. So these pages come both a version that does not have a header and you have a version that does have a header. Each page has 50 books on it. So the way that I have this set up is I'm giving myself enough space for 200 books to read. If I read that many, fantastic. If I don't, I'm perfectly okay with that as well. I have designated myself a rating system. So these are the colors that I'm using depending on how many stars that I'm rating the book. And I have it set up so I trimmed off the very top of the one without the header. So it looks like a Dutch door. And when you're having it closed like this, the header of the full page looks like the header of the partial page. And I really, really like that. I think it's super fun. I mean, you can do it however you want. You can leave it without the header. You can print out multiple of the ones with the header. It's really up to you. But the books are designed to give you enough room. You do have to write small, but it's designed to give you enough room to be able to write in the title of the book. After that, I have my A to Z challenge. I will let you know, I have a version that actually has the letters on it. Unfortunately, I printed out one without it. My printer's out of ink, so I couldn't replace it. But you will see on the Etsy shop that the version of the A to Z challenge has the letters for each book. So this is going to be for book A, B, C, and basically I can be able to say, once I finish a book, that book is going to coordinate with that letter. So for instance, if I finish the book Check and Mate, then I can be able to say this is going to be letter C. C for the A to Z challenge is Check and Mate. You can make up your own rules for how you want to do the challenge. There is going to be enough room to go all the way from A to Z. It's kind of hard to find books that start with the letter Z, so maybe I will decide that I want to use a title that has that letter in it. It's really up to you how you decide that you want to do that. I have a good example of that in my 2023 planner. So here's my A to Z challenge that I had created. So the letter A went with Assistant to the Villain, B was Bookshops and Bone Dust, C was Can't Help Falling, and etc. I did not find a book that started with the letter Q, and I did not find a book that started with the letter U, and I actually intentionally left out the letter X and Z, but this year I'm challenging myself to find books with those more difficult letters in the title. Next, we come to my monthly TBR pages. So I would like to show that I actually have multiple versions of the TBR pages. So for instance, I have versions that are set up for the more casual readers. So these monthly TBR pages have about 10 books on them and 6 months for each side. So you have January through June, July through December. You can also print them out single-sided if you don't want them double-sided. You can print them out however you want. The version that I'm using gives me about 13 to 14 books for each month, and I have it set up as Dutch door style. So I have January through March on the left side, and then my partial page, I have April through June, and then July through September, and then on the other side, I have October through December. I just love being able to flip through and see everything together. And then once I'm done reading a book, I will color it in. So for instance, this morning I finished reading A Cross-Country Wedding by Courtney Walsh. I put that on my TBR, so I can now be able to color it in because I completed it. I also have what I like to call my monthly ARC pages. So if you are new to the reading world, before books published, they are considered either galleys or advanced reader copies. And sometimes people can be able to get advanced reader copies and be able to read them and review them before they are published. There's a couple of different ways to do this. You can either get physical copies from the publisher. So for instance, I have a copy of Finding Mr. Perfect by Cody Gary, and you'll notice it says advanced reader copy, but you can also get these electronically through NetGalley. I will have more information down below, but if you're interested in reading advanced reader copies, it's definitely something fun to look into, especially if you like to review books. So the way that I have the monthly ARC section set up is similar to the TBR. I have January through March on the left side. My partial or my Dutch door is April through September, and then I have October through December. I love these pages because this allows me to plan out the ARCs or the advanced reader copies that I need to read this month, especially if some of these are publishing in future months. This allows me to keep myself accountable. Now, let's say you are somebody who does read advanced copies, but maybe you only read a few a month. I do have versions that only have 10 books per month, so it's set up with 6 months per page. And again, this is something that you can be able to print double-sided, or you can print it single-sided. After that, I wanted to have a shelf where I could be able to pick out 24 books that I wanted to read for that year. So this is my 24 books in 2024. I included a line because then I got to thinking, well, what categories do I want to do 24 books in 2024? So this is my must read on TBR. The intention is to print out the little covers and put them on there. You can either put them on there at the very beginning of the year and then check them off as you go, or you can put them on there as you read them. I also decided to come up with an indie edition. So this is going to be 24 books by indie authors that I want to read. And then a BIPOC or Black, Indigenous, People of Color edition. So books that I'm making sure that I have a high diversity reading. And here's one just left blank. I also have come up with some bingo pages These bingo pages are meant for you to be able to decorate around them, but you can be able to put in a cover of the book as you read. I'm going to keep on going back to my 2023 journal, but this was inspired by a bingo board that I created for my fall reading. So I created a bingo board similar to this, and then as I read the book, I printed out the cover to put on there, and I can see these are some books that I read for this particular bingo board. And I included a line because I want you to be able to write in your title for what you want this bingo board to be. All right, so now we go to my trackers. So the next page is one that I came up with because I wanted a way to be able to track my book club reads and be able to have a way to highlight them. So this tracker allows me to write down the month that we are reading the book title, the book author, the Zoom date, and then after I'm done reading, I can be able to rate it. I also included a line so I can be able to write down the book club name. I'm the type of person that I like to join lots of book club groups, so I have multiple of them, and it really makes me be able to track it. On the back side of the page, it is little shelves with 12 spaces. So I can be able to print out a cover of the book and glue it in so I can not only be able to track the book, but also see the book. This would be really good that if your book club reads multiple books a month, you can be able to choose your favorite one. So I have a couple of these because I'm in a couple of book clubs, but you can really print out however many that you want. After that, I have my pixels. My pixel pages is what I like to refer to them as. First, we have the genre in pixels. So the way that I have it set up is there is 25 spaces for every single month. So it doesn't matter how few you read, how much you read, you have plenty of room to be able to include this. Eventually, I will have a version that has bigger boxes and less boxes, but currently it's just 25 per month. It has 8 spaces for you to be able to write in 8 genres that you will most likely be reading during the year. And then each time that you finish a book, you just color in the square and you can be able to designate how many genres that you read each month. So let's say, for instance, in January, I read 3 thrillers, 6 romance books. I will have 3 spaces with the thriller and then 6 spaces with the romance, and I can be able to look at it and see, oh, I read a lot of romance that month. The next pixel page that I have is a time reading in pixels. It is set up for 12 months and goes up to 31 days. This is specific to these ones are specific to the fact that 2024 is a leap year. So there is 29 days in February, and I have 3 spaces at the top where I can be able to designate time periods that I may spend reading each day. So I color-coded yellow for if I read up to 1 hour. I color-coded green if I read 1 to 2 hours. And then I color-coded purple if I read 2+ hours. So you can be able to put in each day how many hours that you read. And I try to keep it flexible just because different people have different reading styles, and I want to make sure that you can make it work for you. And then I have daily reading in pixels. So this was inspired by my daily reading in pixels that I did for 2023, but I did change it up a little bit. So I have one page in 2023 where I just colored in that I read each day. And then I had a page where I colored in the format that I read. So some days I would do both a physical book and an audio book. Some days I would do both a Kindle book and a physical book. etc. What I found though is some days I was doing a physical Kindle and an audiobook, just kind of depending on the day. So I set it up to where you can basically be able to track one method of reading per page, and then I printed out 3 of them. The page is set up to be double-sided, so you can be able to print out a double-sided 2. You can be able to print out 2 of them single-sided, or you can print out as many as you want. To go along with that, I'm also using stickers from JoJo Apple Prints because she has come out with some bookworm themed reading stickers. So I used a physical book, a Kindle, and an audiobook. But basically each day I'm just able to color in what method of reading that I did. So for instance, January 1st, I did physical reading and I did Kindle reading, but I did not do audio reading. January 2nd, I listened to an audiobook. I read on my Kindle, but I did not read physical. So this is just a really fun way to be able to track your reading each day. Then we come to my low spend tracker. So this is something that I created because I realized in 2023, I was buying a lot of books. So I decided to come up with some rules for how I want to purchase books in 2024 to basically hold myself accountable. So I have a section for rules. I have 2 monthly calendars per each page. They are undated, so I am writing in the dates myself. And then I have a goal section so I can continually remind myself, what is my goal in terms of spending money on books? You could use this for books. You could use this as a low spend tracker for anything. So don't think that this is specific to books. But I have blue for I spent on that day and pink for no spend. So every single day I'm able to color in and confirm I did not spend money that day. The way that this is set up is you have 2 per page and then 2 per a second page, so you can be able to print them out double-sided or you can be able to print them out single-sided. I printed out 3 of them total, each one with 4 of them, so that's enough for 1 year. And then we have my reading tracker. This is just a very simple reading tracker to be able to write down the format of a book that you read, the title, the author, and then you can write in the dates read, and then you can write in your star rating. So for instance, I have read First Lie Wins. I did an audiobook that was by Ashley Elston. I read it from 1-2 through 1-4, and I gave it 5 stars. So I love being able to track the books each month. So I really love being able to track the books that I'm reading throughout the year, not only as cover pages in my monthly wrap-ups. So not only as the cover pages in my monthly wrap-ups, not only as the monthly calendar, but also see just a complete list of all of the books that I've read. You can be able to print this one double-sided or single-sided, whatever you choose. I also have an ARC tracker. This is for those who do the advanced reading, where I wrote in the book, the pub date, the author, and then I have a check for whether I read the book, and then when I left feedback on NetGalley and on Goodreads, and then the star rating. Again, that can be printed single-sided or double-sided. I also created a book for library holds. So as part of my low spend, I am making it a goal to use the library more often. I actually have a book to pick up today. So I have a column for checkout date, the title, the author, when it's due back at the library, and then after I read it, what do I rate it? So I thought that that was a really fun way to kind of encourage you to use the library more. Again, you can do single-sided or double-sided. Next, I have my book ratings. So this is just a very simple page that I can be able to put in the cover of the book. And then I think how I'm going to be using these is writing in the book title, the author, the dates read, and then I'm going to draw in little stars. You can also find star washi. This came from Archer and Olive as part of a subscription box, but I have seen people on Etsy sell washi that has stars, and you can just be able to rip off however many stars that you rate for that book and fill it in on a line as well. The way that this is set up allows for double-sided printing or single-sided, whatever you choose, but it's just a really simple way to have another way to look at the books that you've read. And I really love this one because not only does it include the information, but it also includes a cover photo. All right, and then lastly, I'm going to show you these ones again. So again, this is our 6-month for the more casual reader of the ARCs. So one side is January through June, another side is July through December. So let's say somebody doesn't want to keep a bookshelf. Like you would much rather, instead of keeping like a yearly review of your books read bookshelves, I also have the option to be able to keep them by month. So I have it set up January through June, July through December, and you can just be able to write down the books that you read each month. And then again, our monthly TBR, you can either be able to print it double-sided, but you can also be able to print it single-sided as well. And then those are just extra pages, because I love being able to print out extra pages and just have in the back of my reading journal. But this is the bingo sheet. So you see, it's just very simple. Right now, all I have is a 9 square, but eventually I will be offering a 16 square and a 20 square. And there you go, my reading journal for 2024. So you can be able to purchase these printables from my Etsy shop, Knit Plan Jess, link down below. I really appreciate your guys' support. If you have any questions for me, drop me a comment down below. Not only will I have the link to my Etsy shop, but I will also have the link to the YouTube video for how you print out covers. I will have Amazon links for anything that I have mentioned, and just know that I really, truly appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much. I hope you stick around with my YouTube channel and check out more videos. But if you have questions for me, drop them in the comments or send me a message on Etsy. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and enjoy the next video.